All right, everyone. I want to just briefly talk about this assignment, this video of John Stewart and Bill O'Reilly's debate about this white privilege. So the first question I asked was which person's position does the study I gave you support? And it's really obvious, and most of the people got it right. This study supports John Stewart's position. Okay, white privilege still exists. Now, according to this study and many other studies, I just show you this study, but there are a lot of different studies with different locations. Americans seems to have this caste system now. American dream is pretty much just a dream for some people. It's so difficult for them to reach that dream, if not totally impossible. I'm not dismissing the value of hard work. Okay, only hard work teaches lessons in our lives. Instead of sitting there, and whines and complain, say, okay, this world is not fair for me. Everybody needs to stand up and do the hard work. At least we can stand up and be proud, like a decent human being. But there are so many other peoples that they face the unimaginable challenges. Okay, at least for some, hard work doesn't necessarily guarantee prosperity, and that's a fact. See, the main thing of this story, this is study. Okay, let me show you this. Contrary to the popular American narrative that everyone has equal access to opportunity as long as he or she is willing to work hard, the reality revealed by the study is grim. Education and hard work lift people from the inner city out of poverty only in exceptional cases. The vast majority born poor are almost certain to stay that way. Indeed, we see some people overcome all odds and succeed, but be careful using these few cases to generalize to all people in poverty and think they all can follow the same pattern and be successful. It's oversimplifying the problem. Now, we all want to believe that the world is just. Good things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people. So if I'm a good person, good things will happen to me, right? With this logic, if bad things happen to someone, then he or she must have done something wrong. We have to be really careful with this kind of thoughts, with this kind of logic, because it leads to prejudice. The truth is, this world is not necessarily just. For example, the most surprising findings showed up with when these researchers broke down their data by race. From their interviews, the researchers had learned that many of the racial stereotypes attached to young people, men in particular, did not hold up. For instance, low-income white boys in their study were actually slightly less likely than black boys to graduate from high school. They were also as likely to have used drugs and more likely to have used a drug other than marijuana. They were only slightly less likely to have an arrest record. The data suggested that, on paper, poor black men were at least as qualified as their white counterparts for whatever decent blue-collar jobs were available. Yet, they found that those jobs were going almost entirely to white men. The researchers' 2005 and 2006 survey revealed that the low-income white men were employed full-time on average 20% more during the previous 24 months and earned an average of $8,000 more per year than low-income black men. This pretty much tells us white privilege. Racial discrimination actually still exists. When my wife and I came to America with 3 kids, all less than 4 years old, okay, we couldn't afford a good place to live, so we stayed in the shabby apartment, which was infested with small cockroaches. Because of this, all of us got sick all the time, and we always visited the ER. I still can remember, I can hear my 1-year-old daughter's labor breathing when she had pneumonia. It was scary and worrisome. Next morning, my wife and I still need to go to class and then work. We both work, and our kids are sick. Luckily, the hospital have found funding for low-income people to apply, so they will waive all the bills. I appreciate that so much. I estimate if we have to pay all the bill will be like around $20,000 in total. Even today, both my wife and I are professors. We wouldn't be able to afford that number. So can you imagine people in poverty have debt like that? How are they going to get out of the situation and prosper? I still remember the time I couldn't afford a candy bar as just 25 cents. But I was really lucky. I mean, as a kid, I didn't have to work 2 or 3 jobs to support my siblings, my families. I didn't live in a dangerous neighborhood that I need to worry for my safety or maybe gangs around, drugs, alcohol. So the place I lived, I mean, though I was kind of, no money, there's some resources around. I could go to a library, museums, some places, and I did have some support systems, especially later I went to church. The point is, people of minority and those people in poverty, the obstacles, the challenges they face is just so huge, so tremendous. This is a systems problem. This is not an individual's problem. What we want to focus is this: why the systems makes it hard, much harder for some people. Yeah, and that's the problem we need to examine.